Hello, and welcome back to the First Five. Today we're going to take a look at Overlord, which is a 2018 war horror action movie set during World War II. It gets its name from Operation Overlord, which was the assault on Normandy Beach. I find today's entry a little more interesting than the rest, not because it's better or worse, but because our previous movies have all been very good examples of 5 minutes trying to show off the rest of the movie. But this movie doesn't quite do that. And y'all know I'm not a fan of any more ados, so let's get into it.
Save.
Alright, here we go.
You will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny over the oppressed peoples of Europe. I have full confidence in your skill in battle. The eyes of the world are upon you.
Right there, that young man is Jovan Adepo. He is our main character of this story. Plays Private First Class Edward Boyce. And I think right there, with his reaction to what he was saying about how his kind of throat clenches up, really does really well. Like, it shows that he's going to bring it this time, and I think he does really well in this role. And I wish I'd seen him in more. I know he's been in some more roles like The Watchmen, and I believe he was in the new one with Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie. Can't think of its name. But I haven't seen him in much else, and I wish that changed. But that's a promise that I think he brings, and then he fulfills throughout the movie.
We all go home.
This guy right here, asshole. Okay? And he stays that way until like 95% of the movie. That's his character. Asshole.
That's a fact.
Don't listen to Tibbet Roosevelt, he's full of shit.
Hey, Bruno, how you say he's full of shit in German again?
He's full of Scheiße.
So with all this camaraderie going on right here, one thing I think this movie does promise in its first 5 minutes is that it's going to be more character driven than one might expect going into a World War II horror action movie. Not obviously not everybody survives, but the characters we do get to stick with do get some decent development. I make jokes about a few, but it is a pretty good. All these characters are pretty decent. Some get looked at more than others, of course. But I think that is a promise it does make, and does a pretty decent job through the rest of the movie.
I love that.
Hey! Mort Chase!
Love that character.
Yeah, I'm a photographer. I heard the sergeant say that you were in Italy before this? It's a great frame. You mind if I snap a couple of pictures of you looking out of the window?
You know what I wouldn't...
So, sorry, I didn't mean to pause right in the middle of a line, but I was trying to line it up because of his frame. That's Wyatt Russell. He is actually Wyatt Russell is Kurt Russell's son, legendary Kurt Russell. I thought that was funny because he just looks really familiar to me and not as Kurt Russell's son. Also, he had mono through this whole shooting and lost 26 pounds. Wyatt Russell did throughout the whole movie. But that was kind of nuts to learn. So he's just sick the whole damn time.
Mine, Martin Chase, is you taking your ass back to your seat.
He's also kind of mean.
Already, pretty much.
You know that guy?
Corporal from Baker Company. Last minute transfer.
I already got put in with us for popping the captain.
When he pops the CO and gets a ride with us, huh? So what do we do wrong?
Boys, go
Shit, you're gonna need more than that when we hit the ground.
Can you give me my chain, please?
Ain't gonna be nothing like boot camp, not with those Jerry's firing real ammo. And hell, boys, you hardly made it out of boot alive. No lucky charm in the world is gonna turn you into a soldier.
You finished? You gonna give me the fucking chain?
I'm screwing with you.
Thanks.
This right here, his name is Bokeem Woodbine. He gets hired in movies to die, okay? Just so you know that. That's a promise they make when they hired him to play this role. That's a promise they fulfill on. Love him, though.
Where's our drop zone, Ness?
Village of Silver, France, Sergeant.
What is our target, Grunhauer?
I'll tell you what you do, you just take them dang old spark plugs out, in that little hole, you just put a little oil around there, just like Bobby intercepts, it's like it'd go boom, boom, just like that.
Radio jamming tower on top of a church near the town center, Sergeant.
And why would the Nazis put a radio jamming tower on top of a church, Private?
Yes, Sergeant. Trying to get a better connection to God before we get there and kick their asses. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Boys,
Because they...
good Christ almighty, boys. They put it on a church because the Nazis are rotten sons of bitches.
Yeah, you're right, Sergeant. They are some rotten sons of bitches.
And rotten sons of bitches will do anything they have to destroy everything that is good in this world. That is why we have to be just as rotten as they are. Am I clear?
Yes, Sergeant!
There are going to be over 120,000 Allied soldiers fighting their way onto a French beach in the name of all that is good and pure in this world. Those men are going to need air support. That support will not make it through Jerry's defenses if we do not get that tower down by 0600. So what do you have to do?
Our goddamn job, Sergeant!
That's right. Your goddamn job. Corporal Ford here has joined as our explosives expert. You are lucky to have him. You will obey his commands as if you heard my old beautiful voice coming from his lips.
Game of Thrones actors in this.
Drop is 90 minutes out. Curry! Curry!
One of them missing both of his balls. Hint, hint. So, oddly enough, that is the end. That's the first 5 minutes. There was 45 seconds of the opening credits, Paramount, Bad Robot, all that good stuff. So, since this was a bit of an odder one, So since this was a bit of an odd one, where the first 5 minutes doesn't really show you much, and you might be like, hey, I'm going to turn it off because I was promised war, horror, action, and I got a bunch of dudes talking. I'm going to throw it to my colleague, and we're going to discuss why you should keep watching. Hey, I appreciate it. Looking good today, by the way, Dylan. Hi, I'm Dylan. Let me tell you why you should keep it tuned in past the first 5 minutes. So, the first thing we're going to get into is the action, which actually occurs right after the first 5 minutes, involving a major plane crash, people on fire, falling through the air, gunfire. It's crazy. The action in this movie is very intense. There's quite a bit of it. It's visceral, it's bloody, it's intense, and it's honestly one of the highest marks of the movie, outside of the very good acting from the main, 5-7 characters. Speaking of characters, great transition. Let's talk about them. So talk about a few of the characters that the group encounters after they land and try to get to the church where the tower is located. One of the two main allies they run into is a young boy named Paul Laurent, played by this young man. His name is Gianni Toffer, and I don't like kids in movies, hardly at all. I was nervous when he appeared, but he does a great job. He kills it. He doesn't scream all the time. He doesn't whine all the time. He's funny. He plays around with the asshole character I mentioned, and does a really great job, except for one scene, which was just the direction of the scene. The second character they run into is this beautiful woman. Her name is Mathilde Olivier, I think. I hope. I haven't heard the last name. Maybe she can tell me in person one day. She plays a character named Chloe, and she's the big sister of the young man before Paul. They stay in an apartment or house in France that is overrun by Nazis right now. It's controlled by them. And then the group runs into them, and they hide out. That's all I'm saying. Have y'all been noticing the French ladies lately? And according to one of my best friends, the French men, I guess they're just all beautiful. I mean, there's her. There's Léa Seydoux. There's Melanie Laurent. There's Marion Cotillard. And even Eva Green. Like, it's just... Hold on. And the last character I'll be introducing you to is Pilou Asbaek. Dude, I'm sorry, butchering your name. I hope not. Love you though. Mr. Finger in the Bum himself from Game of Thrones. He plays Nazi Captain Waffner, and he does a pretty decent job. They let him shine more towards the end. I mean, he plays a bad guy Nazi, really. Once he doesn't have a lot of character development. He's a little grapey, which is like, of course, towards Chloe, Mathilda's character. But overall, does a pretty good job. The last thing, my least favorite thing, is that the horror, there's not a lot of it. It's spurts here and there as they get to the French village, and then a lot of that last act. But it's not a ton. It could have been a lot more intense. I was a little let down by the monster design, which I may or may not include a picture of here. But it's okay. It's still good enough. I just wish there was more of it, which is funny because I used to never be a fan of horror movies, but I've been loving them lately. So I could have used a little bit more Nazi zombie from Call of Duty in it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall, very solid movie. 7, maybe 7.5, on a really good day. Could use a little bit more horror. The last half hour could have been easily the last hour, and how it would have been great. But still, worth a check. I was interested in this movie because the first 5 minutes were so different than the rest I've done, so I'm happy we did it. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like. It helps the video and the channel so much. And if you did enjoy this video and the previous videos, consider subscribing. It also helps. Trying to get a video out once a week. Trying to get to 2 a week, but I ain't promising nothing. Keep making promises, keep breaking them. So that's it. One a week for right now. Anyways, go do the things today. You'll feel better. Just get them things done, baby, Go hug a loved one and have a good day.